Hi Scorpio, welcome to your December 2021 Horoscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign, Scorpio, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your actions and interactions with the world at large, you get okay, so you got the Judgment card, right? So this is going to be a profound month of change for you. And it may very well be one where you are seeking to make profound changes. I find this really interesting because we didn't quite have an eclipse in your sign, right? So we're not really going to have a Scorpio eclipse until next year, until May 16th of next year. However, it does look like December is going to be a time, so, you know, this month is going to be a time where you're really tapping into this energy of change and asking yourself at a really deep level, as per the Scorpio archetype, what is it that you are ready to change? More importantly, what area are you really ready to start moving in now? There's this almost like this driving force from within this month, right, that really gets you fired up about something. Maybe from a point of, you know, maybe you get annoyed with yourself that you haven't done something that you said you were going to do. Maybe you find an energy or an element within yourself that needs to be resurrected in some way, right? Like this is that moment, you know, where you listen to one of those songs that gives you back your fight, that taps you into that Phoenix archetype, where it's like, okay, you know, whatever this is right now, whatever experience I'm having, whatever pain I'm having, yes, it sucks right now, but you know what, I'm going to turn this into something else. That is the Judgment card at its you know, at one of its deeper levels. You being a Scorpio, your original emblem is the Phoenix, right? This ability to transmute, to transform from destruction and to bring you know, creation from and through that. And the fact that you have this card, I associate this card to Pluto, and so this comes up really deeply for you because, you know, as in the modern astrology, obviously Pluto is your ruler. The fact that you have the Judgment card as your actions and interactions with the world at large, this is you digging deep this month. There are opportunities for you to make big sweeping changes. And even if those changes are just the seeds are laid on the internal levels, right, at the deeper foundations, that means that something truly spectacular can come from this. There's an acknowledgement of self this month that I feel is really, really deep, and it's going to see you going in a very different direction. It may, in some ways as well, see you bringing an old aspect of self back to life, right? So this is where some of you might get your sparkle back. For some of you, you might get that raging, roaring fire inside you, you know, rekindled, and you know, it goes from being that tiny little baby flame to, you know, to being this roaring sort of tornado made of fire, right? Which is, you know, is pretty powerful stuff. So don't hold back this week, and when this month rather, and whenever the past comes up this month, ask yourself, what is it here that I really need to not even reintegrate? What is it here that I need to assimilate? How do I integrate this past aspect of self with the person that I am truly going to be from here on in? So, you know, all pretty light stuff. That being said, so for those of you that know, every year I put on a winter solstice alignment session. This is the third year that I'm doing it so far, and each year, I think this is the third or the fourth year that it's getting, and it just gets bigger, and I absolutely love doing these. For all of you that have been to one before, you know how awesome it is. But this year I not only have one but two special guests. I have Heather coming from Astrology with Heather, so you guys know her. We collaborated loads. You know Denise as well, who is from Human Design with Denise. We are going to be delving into the astrology, the numerology, the human design gates, of 2022. On top of that, there will be tarot card pulls from myself, and on top of that, as if that wasn't enough, you'll also be getting a future life progression session as a group where you will be shooting off into your own future to see what 2022 has in store specifically for you. You do not want to miss this session. Trust me, it's like getting the cheat codes to 2022 and getting the jump on the year ahead. You can get your seat on the link in the description box below. It would be lovely to see you. All right, so for your money and materials, you've got the Two of Wands. This is fantastic. For some of you, this is the resurrection of an old idea. Maybe for some of you, you're picking up an old revenue stream. Maybe for some of you, this is about not only going in a new direction, but this is about taking, I almost want to say, for some of you, it kind of feels like an old idea that you had maybe left on the back burner, and it's like, oh, I never got round to that, and it is what it is. And suddenly this month, there's a way for you to make this happen, right? You can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you're bringing something to life. This is about you choosing to step on a specific path that leads you to more finances, more money, more resources, but also to rubbing shoulders with some probably quite affluent people. One of the things that I love most about the Two of Wands, a lot of people talk about this as being a choice, of whether to act. I see this as a card of true action. It's where you decisively say, that's why the figure has the world in his palm, right? Choosing to act. This is where I decide to make the world my oyster, so to speak. The fact that you have this Two of Wands as well, when it comes to your money, whatever decision you're making this month, it is geared towards creating more abundance for yourself, and possibly for some of you, quite frankly, more worldly acclaim. You couple this then with the Judgment card, you might be doing this in a very different way to the way that you envisioned it the first time round. You might be taking an idea, deconstructing it and saying, okay, well, you know what, that bit didn't work, but we can use this as the foundation, and now we build on that and we turn it into something real. I just got my little goosebump shiver there, so I know we're cooking with gas at this point, right? This is great. The other thing is as well, because your money and materials is about your entire material existence. Something about you needs to change either your physical environment, or you need to start moving more. Like, I'm getting this feeling like I feel really physically emotive, which tells me that something about your body is asking for you to start doing something with it, start burning that physical energy off so that you can, be clearer on the internal planes. For your communications and conversations, you got the Ten of Pentacles. Oh yeah, right? Look at this, the Ten of Pentacles with the Two of Wands. I mean, that's some big conversations that have far-reaching ripples that could quite frankly change your financial future. I don't say that lightly. Especially because it's into your communications and conversations. There are big conversations happening with family this month, not just because of the holidays. It does look like there's some bigger considerations. For some of you, this might be considerations about a move, a change of home, especially with this here. There is an excitation or an influx of finances or money or potential resources that could come to you through the family, through people that you know this month, right? So be open to all of the conversations that come up. The other thing that I want to say to you with this card as well, be practically available. Right, so if there are any requests that come up this month, aside from the usual holiday stuff, if there are any requests that come up this month, go ahead, be open to them, because they could take you down some paths that you hadn't really considered. It does look like you're having a conversation with an older person this month that could really give you a hint on which way to go with some sort of financial endeavor, or something to do with home, property, and or real estate. All of that kind of stuff seems to be highly favored for you at the moment, but there are certainly big conversations that are changing your mind, or are sitting right with you in the right space to produce ideas of how to create the kind of material success and abundance that you're looking for. And this isn't just about money, it's actually about security. All right, so very, very nice. And then for your communications and conversation, your heart and half sector and your love and relations, you have the King of Cups, right? So this is usually a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio male. For those of you that are single, you could be connecting with a water sign person, very possible. If you know, your family or a loved one or a friend maybe tries to set you up or suggest somebody to you, be open to it. This might be one of those, you know, rare times that they get it right. Another way that this could come up as well, this could be a month where you start to get past some of the familial stuff, right, that we all have, right? There's a sense of healing actually that shows up for you this month. And, you know, some of it is probably done through talk. I have to say as well, there might be some challenging conversations with an elderly person, you know, like when your parents say, you know, sit you down and say, look, we've written our will just in case, and da-da-da-da. And it's, you know, that stuff is I mean, Scorpio, right? Not so challenging for you guys, but even still, you know, to get that sort of, even if it's just a small taste, to get that taste of not only your parents or your, you know, your elderly, but your own mortality, it's quite a sobering thing, you know, regardless of your sign, no matter how deep you are. It still kind of wakes you up to the fact that, okay, this is real for all of us and it's always going to be. There's some sort of reconciliation that could take place this month for a lot of you as well. For those of you that are single, if you are meeting someone, it's likely to be a water sign, and it might be somebody that is, you know, they might be set up. You know, you could be having those kind of thoughts of like, oh, you know what, you lot did good, okay. For those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, I mean, that King of Cups is really saying that you guys are looking to create something together, and finally you can start to see the reality of it taking shape, which is very exciting. Your first week of the month, right, we got that lunar eclipse, makes sense, the solar eclipse, should I say. You've got the moon. So there is a lot of past energy in this card, and it's right underneath the Judgment card. I wouldn't be surprised if an old friend, colleague, partner, ex, you know, someone from your past shows up for you this week. It would not be a surprise to me at all. The fact that you've got the Judgment card here, though, means that you really are past it. Like, whatever is being offered, whatever is being shared, you're like, okay, that's great. Let me just, you know, factor this into everything that I'm doing now. Thank you for the lesson. We keep it moving. For your second week of the month, you've got the World card right underneath the Two of Wands. Don't be surprised if some sort of invite for travel comes up in the second week of the month. This looks to have actually nothing to do with the holidays. This is something specifically to do with your work. For some of you, this could be maybe you're going to view a place that you want to move to. Maybe you are booking a holiday to a place that you're thinking about emigrating to. There's a strong sense that whatever this is, it's got nothing to do with like the whole holiday season, etc. This is more about you doing something on a very practical and personal level, but it is travel that comes up, or an invite of some sort that comes in, and it's down to what you do. So, you know, it wouldn't even be a surprise if maybe you were invited to speak at an event, or, you know, something of that nature. Now, what I find interesting is it is the World card and it is the Two of Wands, which suggests to me this will be real-time travel, not, you know, like interacting over Zoom, etc. So as we come into the third week of the month, I just want to say from my heart to yours, whatever it is that you do or don't celebrate, I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. Happy Christmas, happy Kwanzaa, happy Hanukkah, happy Yule for those of you that celebrate. Solstice blessings to all of you. Remember that solstice session, you can get your seat on the link in the description box below, but have a wonderful holiday season, whatever your card is. And it is, yeah, of course, it's your card. It's the Death card. All right, so, all right, so on the more challenging level, I have to talk about it. You've got the Ten of Pentacles, the World card, and the Death card. That could be, and I touch wood, I truly hope that I'm wrong, for a very select few of you, this may be an elderly person in the winter of their lives is departing. That's what I will say. On a more philosophical and a more microcosmic level, you've got this underneath that Ten of Pentacles. This is some sort of personal realization. This is some sort of personal understanding that comes in. Maybe this is something about your past or your heritage. Maybe it's something about your culture that you're finally ready to let go of, that you're finally ready to release. And it's like, you know, this could come as a real surprise to you as well. Maybe there's some old burden, challenge, issue that you're just like, you know what? it really just doesn't matter anymore. Like, in the face of everything, of what is, what isn't, what has been, what's going to be, like, this just is not important. I actually feel like this could be you, for some of you as well. Maybe you're letting go of a place. Maybe you thought you were going to be staying somewhere for, you know, the rest of your life, or, you know, whatever. There's a change this month. There's a big shift coming, right? And whatever that shift is, I think even you will be surprised at what it is and how powerful it is, how profound. For your 4th week of the month, you have the Judgment card, right? So I'm going to say this, for those of you that are single, this month could very well see you connecting with somebody on a fated level. Again, I don't say that lightly. The reason I say this is because the Judgment card, you got a double hit of it. It's big change, and then you've got this King of Cups. So for some of you, you know, right towards the end of the year, before we step into the new year, you could be meeting somebody that becomes either very influential in your life, or somebody that's going to become somebody quite special to you. For those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, this is, in a way, it's a deepening of the bond. But more than that, this is you guys deciding, or maybe something is being decided for you. For, you know, for those of you that are wanting to start families, etc. It looks like, you know, the end of this year, the beginning of the next one is the time where that comes in. There's something about your partnership, your relationship, or your marriage that is going in a different direction, maybe to the one that you planned, or maybe the one that you've planned now actually starts to manifest on a tangible level. It's going to be really exciting. So your solar eclipse, new moon solar eclipse message, you have the gate 9 and small details. And one of the things that I love about this card is the figure on it and the colors. And what this actually says to me is it's about clearly defining things, right? How when you look at, you know, these paintings that people do, and you're looking at something on Instagram and it's super realistic, and then, you know, they zoom out and you realize, oh my gosh, it's a painting. That's what detail, putting detail to things, is really about. These big worldly plans that you have this month, it's going to be the details. This eclipse is going to show you where something needs to be defined or refined or even redefined in some way, shape or form. So pay attention to what comes up, because that, especially for those of you that are ascendant Scorpios, to a lesser degree the sun and the moon, you know, the eclipse is taking place in your 2nd house, right? So this is all about the finances, the money, the resources, the worldly acclaim, all of that kind of stuff. Well, maybe not so much the worldly acclaim, but certainly the money, the resources, the finances and the value. This eclipse is going to show you where things need to be tweaked to really get them to be like a well-oiled machine in some way. And then finally, your full moon message is the gate 19 and sensitivity. You guys know I say this to you all the time. Scorpio is a very psychic sign, but it has a hard time, not have a hard time expressing it, but sometimes you guys have a hard time getting that out. Do you know what I mean? Like to come, you know, up from the depth to kind of bring it outward. If you can do that this month around that full moon, you know, what does the butterfly represent? Transformation, right? So there's a whole load of your own energy here. Now, we're all in a state of flux. We're all in a state of transformation every single day, right? That's life. That is literally the nature of life. But this full moon could really powerfully highlight something of this nature to you. And I really, really feel that it's going to speak directly to your soul about what you are transforming into and what the fuel to make that transformation happen is likely to be. All right, with that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a wonderful December, an awesome holiday season. For those of you that have supported my work through the entire year, it really does mean the absolute world. I send you so much love and so many blessings from my heart to yours. Have an amazing year ahead. I hope that 2022 is truly wonderful, and I will see you on the flip side for more content and a whole bunch of new things that I have cooking in the cauldron. All right, take care, and I'll see you soon.